she's not a frontline star. She's a sidekick. She was Phillip Schofield's sidekick, and they've tried to make her the centre of the entire operation, the main attraction, and she's just not up to it.
Hello and welcome to the Showbiz Showdown with me, JJ Anisiobi. This is the only show on TalkTV where we take on the world of entertainment. Now, before we start, first of all, let me ask you, are you okay? Because Holly Willoughby has quit this morning after 14 years on the sofa. And we're going to tell you exactly why she quit. The real reason why Holly Willoughby quit. Helping me do that, TalkTV legend Kevin O'Sullivan. Welcome to the Lion's Den once again, Kev.
I'm not okay. I'm absolutely distraught. I don't know how I can go on. The idea of Holly Willoughby not on the spot. I mean, I'm only just recovering from Phillip Schofield not being there. What's going on?
What just happened?
What just happened? What just happened is Holly Willoughby quit. What would you like to ask me about that, JJ?
Why now?
Yeah, it's extraordinary, isn't it? A lot of people are saying, we know that last week she was at the centre of an alleged kidnap plot where someone allegedly wanted to do her harm. A lot of people say that was very traumatic for her, made her think about her children, the safety of her children, the safety of her family. I'm sure it did. However, the idea that this is the reason that she's quit this morning, I'm not buying that for a second. I mean, for all Holly's many faults, that's not very fair, is it? Why did I say that? Well, for all her faults, she's a tough lady. I mean, she's survived a long time in one of the toughest businesses there is, show business. And I just do not accept that some kind of alleged threat to her would make her quit the job she loves. What I think the situation is this. Look, the show relaunched not so long ago, a couple of months ago, with that rather over-the-top, dancing queen music. She's a dancing queen. The whole sort of cast of thousands, and she comes on. Oh, look, Holly's back. Saved the show and all this. Well, what happened on that day, that seminal day when the host of the show returned, without Phillip, of course, was the ratings went down rather drastically. And they've continued to be extremely poor. With just Holly at the helm. Yeah. So I think that after a couple of months, she's looked at this and thought, I am not the figurehead who's going to save this show. Yeah. The performance in terms of ratings isn't good enough, and I don't have to take this. Meanwhile, I think the bosses have probably made it clear to her they're worried about the ratings. I suspect, and this is pure speculation, that they might have said, oh, well, we had this idea of you being the queen bee around which the whole show revolved. Well, maybe we'll just sort of, you'll be part of the rota, like Dermot, like Alison Hammond, like Josie Gibson and all that lot, Ben Shepherd. Maybe just be part of it. And, she didn't like that. And I think she's just thought, well, I don't need this. I don't need this. 14 years. I'm not working. I am not saving the show. I am not bringing in bigger audiences. In fact, they're going down. I am besieged by offers from other broadcasters, particularly the BBC. Tell you what, I don't need this grief. I'm out of here. That's what I think.
So I suggested that to Vanessa Feltz yesterday on her Drive Time show, and she was... she was unhappy, to say the least.
At your suggestion?
At my suggestion that Holly's popularity had waned, and it began with Qgate, and it went even further with the Phillip Schofield scandal. And Vanessa claimed that Holly had been offered some big contract extension from ITV, and they wanted to keep her, and they wanted to make her continue to have her as the star of the channel. But I still dispute that, and I still think, regardless of what ITV said they wanted to do, the public have fallen out of love with Holly Willoughby.
And it's debatable whether or not they ever were in love with her. As a duo in their heyday, at the height of their pulling power, Phillip Schofield and Holly Willoughby were pretty good at hosting the flagship magazine show for ITV this morning. That they were fine. I wouldn't say they were ever spectacular, but they were a good, solid team. She was very much the sidekick, and that's what she is. I mean, I don't say this derogatorily. She just is not. She's not a frontline star. She's a sidekick. She was Phillip Schofield's sidekick, and they've tried to make her the centre of the entire operation, the main attraction. And she's just not up to it. I mean, I'm afraid that's just a fact. And last night I was accused of being sexist. It's got nothing to do with her sex or her gender. She could be a bloke, but she just, I don't think, has, if I can use this phrase, the X factor.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you. I've spoken to friends who worked at This Morning. Some still there now, some who've gone. Everyone said it, or most of them say it's toxic. It was a toxic place to work. That Holly and Phil were not nice to people. Phil especially wasn't nice to people. Holly was better when Phil wasn't around, but still not that great. But the most telling part that I was told was that everyone preferred the days when it was Ruth and Eamon.
Yeah, including the audience. They got bigger ratings. I mean, this is the backdrop to all of this. Is any old day of the week where you're watching ITV's Greek flagship magazine. This morning, here they all are. Switch over to an old episode of Homes Under the Hammer, a kind of decrepit old property show on BBC, and it's getting twice the viewers.
Yeah.
This Morning isn't quite the success story ITV have always maintained. And as I say, Holly and Phil were good custodians of the brand. Then it all started to go wrong. Obviously, when Phil came out, that was, that marked a kind of a sea change. And then, of course, there was Q-Gate. And this, I think, feeds into my view of what Holly Willoughby is thinking right now. So it started, there was all the furor with Phillip coming out. She had to sort of stand there in the shadows and watch this happen. Then there was Q-Gate, where they got absolutely slammed.
Rightly so.
Two VIP celebrities who don't understand the main law in Britain. Thou shalt not jump a queue. They should have known that. There's no worse a crime. Then, of course, the Phillip Schofield saga, where again she had to stand there and watch it all happen and catch a lot of flack along the way. So on, and then she's come back. The ratings have been bad. People talking about her all the time. Then this alleged kidnap plot. I think she's just gone, do you know what? It's just not worth it. Meanwhile, we know the BBC covet her very much. And I suspect that she's mulling over an offer to host some sort of Saturday night show. She'll only have to do 6 weeks filming a year or something like that. Still earn a fortune, still be famous, and she doesn't get any of the grief or the hard work of having to do 5 days a week, or at least 4 days a week at This Morning. She doesn't need it. And frankly, I think she's realised she ain't necessarily all that good at it. It's not working with the viewers. And as you say, JJ, I think that through all of what I've just been saying, This Morning has become toxic in itself. And ITV bosses are hoping against hope that it revives. I don't think it ever will.
So you think this could be the end for This Morning as well?
Yeah, I mean, what's the question? What is the future for This Morning? Brief. Well, I think they'll cling on. They'll try to make it work. They need a massive relaunch now. But I think there comes a time where something is past its sell-by date, and it might be time for ITV bosses to have the courage of their convictions and just say, let's start again with something else.
Thanks very much, Kev. That is all we have time for this week on the Showbiz Showdown. Leave your comments below. Holly Willoughby. Ooh, good grief. We'll see you next time.